Hey, it's Monday, June 27, 2022. Couple of things to talk about here. Impeachment should be possible if Supreme Court justices lied under oath. That's the big deal going on right now. And I gotta agree with it, to be totally honest. For example, this is concerning two justices, Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh, concerning their confirmation hearings. The overturning ruling was inconsistent. The overturning of Roe v. Wade was inconsistent with comments that they made in their hearings and meetings, meaning that when they had been insistent on the importance of supporting long-standing precedents, the two justices testified under oath that they had believed Roe v. Wade was a settled legal precedent. Okay? In other words, they said when they were hired on, this is the law, it's going to stay here, and that's my job to uphold it. And that's it, which technically, that's what we want those justices for. Not to rearrange anything in the law, not to rewrite the law. They're only supposed to put that on paper when the legislation does this and presented it to them, and then it's passed, and then asked for the judges to put and uphold, to put in the law and uphold. Okay. Everything concerning this turning over and overturning Roe v. Wade is wrong. It should be considered illegal. A lot of people are probably saying that, but for right now, the only thing that we can say is that it is 100% backstabbing wrong, two-faced turncoat wrong. Okay. Now, one of my favorite people to stamp this on is Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, the same lady that made Wall Street and Wells Fargo and Chase banks, all the banks, shaking their boots when she started an investigation, wondering why everybody is getting fined and fees and all this other stuff, and extra taxes and extra fees and stuff that are needless, pointless, and all this stuff, while banks are saying, well, we need to do more, and at the same time gaining a bunch of money that they're pocketing. If they always need more, how is it they're always pocketing? How are they pocketing stuff when they need to tax us more? When they need to put legal fees and fines on we the people. Okay, Elizabeth Warren was one of the people, along with like Katie Porter. Elizabeth Warren was one of the people. She was the one that caught my eye, though. She was the one that put them up against the wall and said, well, why don't you show us how it is you, with all that money, is still in need of more from the rest of us, the people. And they all shamed her. They said, damn you, shame on you. How dare you ask to look into my business? Yeah, but stay out of my business. They all tried all that crap. It failed miserably. And they wound up behaving themselves even around the time when Obama wasn't, enforcing what Warren had done. The banks still wound up behaving themselves for the most part. Okay, that's who she is. And now she's come back with this Roe v. Wade. After this Roe v. Wade decision, she's saying the court has lost legitimacy. They have burned whatever legitimacy they still may have had after their gun decision, which is a bullshit gun control rule. After their voting decision, which was clearly voter restricted and voter oppressed decisions that they made. The courts have been shown favor after the union decision, which was total favor for people who are anti-unions to try to stop it. Even as far down as the Seattle-based Starbucks. The courts have been smashing everything, or trying to deny anything to make law, such as unions, such as voting rights, such as gun control. They drop the ball every time, and Elizabeth Warren just took the last of it and set a torch to it. The legitimacy as to the reason why we even need them. They took their legitimacy to it and put a torch to it with this Roe v. Wade opinion. Okay? She finally finishes off with, I believe we need to get some confidence back in our court, the Supreme Court. And that means we need more justices in the Supreme Court. Narrowing it down to impeachment, this AOC lady, now I got nothing against her, but there are times where she's dropped the ball with her emotional rants as opposed to sticking to a professionalism the way Warren usually does. AOC's impeachment should be very seriously considered if the Supreme Court justices lie in their confirmation hearings about their intentions to overturn Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court has dramatically overreached its authority. This is a crisis of legitimacy, saying the same thing that Miss Warren, sounding a lot like on the same page as what Warren said the first time. Now, the two justices are Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh. Concerning their confirmation hearings, the overturning ruling of Roe versus Wade was inconsistent with comments that they made in their hearings and meetings when they had been insistent on the importance of supporting long-standing precedents. Okay, the two justices testified under oath that they also believe Roe v. Wade was a legal, settled legal precedent. Okay, they said this is the rules, this is the law, I'm upholding it once I'm anointed a judge. Okay, once I'm officially a judge, I'm upholding the law, whatever the law says, whatever that law is. Now, again, what Elizabeth Warren has brought into light was that they burned their legitimacy of them. What's the purpose of having them? They're not upholding gun control laws. They're not upholding voting rights. They're not upholding union decisions, you know. And finally, they're overturning the abortion bill, you know. I mean, what purpose do we need them for? This is what the lost legitimacy of the Supreme Court. This is what that talk is saying, you know, but only in a professional manner. You come to my show because you want to hear the dumbed down version, how we talk, you know, and it's a good point. I mean, honestly, what's the point of having them if this is all that they're going to be doing? Just removing rights, supporting oppression, supporting restrictions, and supporting everything concerning voting, the gerrymandering tactics, and all this crap, making it legal. You know, what's the point of having the courts if all they're going to do is just blatantly show favoritism to the corrupt? That doesn't make any sense. And now this Roe v. Wade thing, you know, I think this was AOC that finished her statement with, if we allow Supreme Court nominees to lie under oath and secure lifetime appointments, because these aren't people that can get elected out. There are no candidacies for Supreme Court justices. If they lie under oath and secure lifetime appointments to the highest court of the land, and then issue rulings that deeply undermine the human civil rights of the majority of Americans, we must see it through that the justices are impeached. And I agree. I 100% agree. I think, you know, that's too important of a job to have to where somebody says, I promise to do good, and then says, psych! I had my fingers crossed this entire time. I can't believe you fell for it, man. No, we can't have that in the Supreme Court. Now, here on my show, I go by a quote. It's all about the money. Belief is the tool. It's all about the money. Belief is the tool. The unions, Roe v. Wade, the justices didn't uphold the unions decision all the way down to Starbucks. Starbucks can't get a union because they believe it's un-American. It keeps all those at the higher up from spending a lot of money instead of paying fees and fines through the union. You know, and they make you believe that it's the right decision. Voting rights. They uphold the people to do gerrymandering and all this other stuff because it helps keep the rich rich and the poor poor. It's so discriminative, and it goes. One of the guidelines is the color of the skin, or the nation you were born in. Okay. And they make you believe it's the right decision, that it's the right decision to put these voting restrictions and gerrymandering schemes for a safer and secure America. You know, it's all about the money. Belief is the tool. Okay, that's a lot to profit on. Gun decisions, the gun reform bill, the gun, whatever. You know, a lot of money's going into that. And the leaders are making you believe that you're safer. As opposed to where before there were no gun laws. They were scratched out, removed, and rewritten for less regulation. And they made you believe that you are now in charge of securing your own world. You're safer now because we got out of your way. Total BS. In my eyes, they made all of you believe that. I know they didn't make me believe it, but they made the rest of you out there believe it. Why? Because it's all about the money. Belief is the tool. All the money that's supposed to be invested in gun reform and regulations is now money that they pocket. Tax-paying dollars that they pocket themselves. While the rest of us out here have to deal with lunatics that grab a gun without any problems. It's all about the money. Belief is the tool. Never forget that. So what about this Roe v. Wade thing? Well, as I've stated throughout past posts, and I'm sure you're tired of hearing it, I'm going to say it again, but I'm going to dumb it down and get to the money, okay, this time. Okay. Religious morals and ethics beliefs. Okay, abortion used to be a Christian responsibility globally. It started in the 1860s, 1869, and was officially declared sin and non-responsibility of the church by 1917. So as far as that goes, they threw that out the window. Okay, morals and ethics and all that is gone out the window. Life saving. Well, it turns out abortions can save lives more than forcing the women to give birth. So no, medical life-saving tactic being anti-abortion is not the answer. Money. Okay, brace yourself. Because this is a little outdated information. This is from pre-pandemic days. A first trimester abortion would cost about $397, just under $400, versus an $854 for a second term trimester abortion procedure. Okay? Now, the first trimester, say out of 250,000 people, costs about $99,250,000 per year. Because no 250,000 people went into abortion in one weekend. Okay, it's throughout the year. The second trimester procedure, for the same 250,000 people out of an entire year, costs $213,500,000. Okay. The insurance, public or private, pays a fraction of that. 22.6% of that 397 if it's a first term abortion. 25%, a whole quarter percent if it's second term abortion out of that $854 of each individual abortion during the second trimester procedure abortion. Okay, a whole quarter percent. And then out of the 200, out of the 250,000 abortions, 70% are financed by federal taxes. 180,000 out of that is financed, out of that 250,000 is financed by the state taxpayers. Okay. Hence the reason why you get all these states going in an upward, individuals. Some states more so than others. And that's because of the bigotry towards the term abortion and anything that involves it, that comes out of our tax-paying dollars. Okay. Now, abortions are financed in a variety of ways. It comes out of our tax-paying dollars, but it's financed through 15.6% using Medicaid, 7.3% using non-Medicaid source of coverage, and 8.6% using third-party coverage. Okay? So the tax-paying dollars isn't exactly that full 200 million if it's a second trimester. It's also covered through a third-party coverage by 8.6%. A little bit under than that, 7.3% through non-Medicaid, and a whole 15.6% using Medicaid. Now, these have changed. They might have gone up or down. I don't really know which one after the pandemic, where a lot of data has just plain gotten lost and not reported. Okay? So this is all pre-pandemic costs and stuff like that. Restrictions on Medicaid through the Hyde Amendment don't cover abortions. So most are paid out of pocket. Do you get that? A lot of these abortions aren't really coming out of our tax-paying dollars because most of them are actually being paid out of pocket. So that's quite a large bill that a lot of people have to do, because the 854 and the 397 for first term, for first trimester, is just that operating cost. Everything else, much like with any clinic or hospital, anything else is going to be, $20 for a couple of aspirin, $60 for a bed sheet, $80 for a cup of OJ to balance out your sugar levels. Okay, those rules don't change. And seeing as how most Medicaid is not covering abortion because of the Hyde Amendment, which is just this anti-abortion, legally permitting hospitals and states and all them to not provide coverage wherever it's accepted in whatever state. Most of the Medicaid people are paying out of pocket. Okay, so 213,500,000 for a second trimester procedure. That's a lot of tax-paying dollars. And it's, get this, because through Medicaid, they have to pay out of pocket. So where's that $213,500,000 going to? Because it's our tax-paying dollars. Don't you think it should be going to the abortion clinics? Where this is supposed to be paying for the abortion? Now, if this is true, we've got ourselves sort of a corporate robbery, a stealing going on out of our tax-paying dollars. In which case, we really shouldn't be going after the mothers that need the abortion. We should be going after the hospitals and clinics that are saying, well, we need your tax-paying dollars for these abortions. Don't look at me, look at the politician. And all that time is pocketing. Don't get me wrong, it's collectively throughout the nation, so to say. But they're pulling money out and pocketing out of $213 million and $213,500,000 for the second trimester. It's only $99,250,000 for a first trimester procedure. So, and again, if it's not being paid for through Medicaid, non-Medicaid, a third-party coverage, or your insurance, public or private, okay? If it's not being paid through any of that, it's being paid out of pocket. I mean, you can do a second term trimester procedure for a whole 25% through your insurance to cover it. The rest is out of pocket because you can't do it through Medicaid. You can't do it through a third party coverage. The Hyde Amendment made sure of that, which means the rest is out of pocket. $99,250,000 at a national level throughout the year means that only one of those few little financing ways is being done while the rest is being paid out of pocket, and yet 99 million of it is not going to the patient. None of that $99 million is not going to the patient, and apparently it's not going to the clinic either. So, it's going to whoever it is that's reaching for the money, whoever it is that's saying, well, we need more finances in order to get these abortion clinics going up and all this other shit, all this other stuff. And what about those that are opposed? Those that are opposed to it, they're not getting anything out of the $99 million, nor much less the 213. So they're like, well, let's just remove it out of the way. It's a sin anyway. It's a sin. Yeah, but that 99 million to 213 million that's circulating, that's still coming out of our taxes through the medical field, the medical industry, and all of the government agencies of the medical industry, that's going somewhere. We're still paying these high taxes. Where's it going? You understand? Where's that money going? It's not going to some other cause, because that money was there for the abortion procedures, safe and proper abortion procedures. Are we getting a tax break out of this? I'll bet you $99 million to $213 million we're not. We're not seeing any of that cash. Excuse me for a second. Let me get some water. Yeah. So, back to the original subject, that these justices should be impeached for overturning Roe v. Wade, meaning that much millions of dollars of tax-paying dollars, which is supposed to be going to this, is now going to be disappearing because it's not coming back to us. We're not getting anything out of this. It's going to somebody. And more than likely, those two justices, that participated in overturning Roe v. Wade are going to be seeing a little bit of a collection later on down the line. Along with everybody that's supposed to be making good use of that tax-paying dollars to Roe v. Wade. It's not going to their city. It's not going to their state. It's going right into their pockets. Every single politician that's for this. Just watch. You'll see what I'm talking about. So that's the deal there with the talk about impeaching those two justices. They should be gone. Gorsuch and Kavanaugh. They should have never been in there to begin with. It was just so clear that they weren't going to be upholding the law, that they were just going to do nothing but disrupt it and be a part of whatever hate group that's pushing the agenda to remove Roe v. Wade, you know. So that's at a national level. This is at a local level. SAPD exercising Krav Maga sessions for threat assessment incidences. Oh my God. Oh my God. Mass shooter incidences and all this crap. SAPD is getting Krav Maga lessons. I hope to God this isn't being done off of our taxpaying dollars. More than likely it is. And I bet you Greg Abbott is behind all of this. Remember, he's the one that got all the police chiefs together for independent school district threat assessment, reviews, investigations, and planning. Okay? Now, again, Greg Abbott using these taxpaying dollars, putting our police chiefs into getting meetings and conferences and all the sessions to work on a threat assessment plan, which technically is already in place. Here in San Antonio, SAPD is exercising Krav Maga sections. So I take it we're gonna start seeing these flying kicks, knocking out guns out of gunmen hands, right? We're gonna see them pull out a sword and chop the gunman hand off. The hand that's holding the gun, you know. We're going to see them behead somebody or something. We're going to chop an arm off or karate chop them. Wah! A gunman that's doing mass shootings. That's more than likely going to kill himself by the time a cop shows up. I tell you, you know, I've got no problem with promoting the good that my Texas cops are doing. But as sure as there's a flip side to them, and some way or another they gotta louse it up, I gotta bring it up. This is just downright stupid. I don't want my taxpaying dollars going to this. And for those of you thinking, oh, but you wanted to go to abortion, right? Yes, because abortion saves lives. Abortion saves lives, and it removes a fetus before the quickening. And I'll say it again. The quickening is that moment when the woman feels the heartbeat of her child in her womb. It is a rule of thumb that has been going on and helping us survive and thrive and carry on long before the sciences could detect a heartbeat of a symbiotic fetus in the womb. Congratulations, the sonogram can detect the heartbeat in the womb of that fetus. But until the woman can feel the heartbeat, ergo experiencing the quickening, it's just a scientific treat. Okay? It is not the rule. When the woman feels that heartbeat in her womb, that's when it's a living baby. That's when it's a living baby that's on its way to doing the procedures before coming out. That whole rolling and tossing and turning thing that it's doing. Okay? Before that, the woman feels the heartbeat of that baby in her womb. That's called the quickening. That is where it's still better than science. Science is cool, don't get me wrong. It is always a treat to do those sonograms and get those pictures of the little baby while it's still a symbiont, looking all adorable and everything as a little baby fetus. It's a very nice treat, but it is not a rule of thumb. The quickening is. So yeah, I'm pro-abortion. And I am very much against SAPD. SAPD turning themselves into action stars in the action movie stuntmen. Yeah, I want my taxpaying dollars to go to the abortion, not this horse crap. How to turn a cop into some karate thug that's just going to be roughing up people and kids. Because like I said in previous statements, you had one cop that was holding down a child while the teacher was cutting the braids off of a half black boy. What the fuck is Krav Maga gonna do when a young autistic child who's going through this phase, or maybe missed a medication, and the only thing the cop is doing these days when an autistic child loses it, autistic children are challenged. They have minds. I have one of my nephews who wishes to talk the way we do. He understands our conversation. He doesn't have the motor skill functions to do so. Something like that could drive him insane. What are you doing? Giving a cop permission to go to a school where a teacher has reached her limit, calls that cop to come arrest her, and that guy puts the cuffs on a little autistic child and takes her away. What do you think that does? And now the cops are going to be learning Krav Maga. What the hell? They're going to knock out that kid first? Come on. That's all that I see that's going to be happening soon. That's all that I see that's going to be happening. Cops attacking more kids. More so than what they've been doing now. And then to top it all off, still not doing anything when a gunman arrives. It's his right. It's his right to own a gun. Dumbass. That's all I see that's going to be happening. That's all I can see happening. It'd be nice if I could be proven wrong. But, I'm halfway willing to put money on it. I'm halfway willing to meet you on those odds. So that's what's going on locally here in San Antonio. The final thing is something of a whatchamacallit. Mary Miller, a politician in Illinois, said Roe v. Wade is overturned. This is a victory for white life. Oops. This is a victory for the right to life. And she comes out saying, I'm not a racist. I have Jew friends. No, Mary Miller, you are a racist. It's that damn obvious. Victory for white life. Está loca. But that's what's going on lately. Yeah, Mary Miller's a damn bigot. She's a damn racist. She knows that there's a lot of people of color, women of color, that are going to be dying soon because of this. Every expert, every statistic recorder, every data analyst, everybody is saying the ones that die the most due to lack of proper life-saving abortion operations are people of color, because they're too poor, because again, Medicaid won't cover it through the Hyde Amendment out of the majority of the United States. And nobody's got any money to, nobody can afford to leave to another place in another state, despite the fact that her life is in danger. We're all living paycheck to paycheck. That's women who need the abortion as well. It's not something like pitching in money to go to Cancun, on a cruise. A cruise is $173. A cruise is $200, An abortion is just under $400. But that was pre-pandemic days. It might cost a little bit more than that. And that's aside from the rest of the hospital bill. You know, remember, $20 for a couple of aspirin, you know, $60 for clean sheets to lie on the bed after you got cut open. You know, water, you know, $30 for some Moj to balance out your sugar levels. You know, that's what hospitals do. That's what clinics do. It's all part of the recovery. And in the eyes of the bigots, hey, that's business. The eyes of the corrupt American economic greed, not just American, but all over the world. And in the eyes of the corrupt economic greedy, you know that hey, it's business. It's just business. So yeah, you know, you got that going on, and it just sucks. It sucks, donkey balls. But we gotta tough this out and see what we can do. And hopefully the politicians will look into impeaching the two justices. Because remember, they're not supposed to be rearranging or removing the law. They're just supposed to be supporting and upholding in a judiciary manner the law that already exists, especially the law that's already settled, a settled precedent. Sorry, not president. Precedent. That's their responsibility, to uphold the laws that are already in a long-term precedent. They weren't supposed to be doing what they did. And hopefully it'll get them removed, maybe even arrested. That'd be cool. That, you know, I think the government would be forgiven. So, yeah, I mean, that's what's going on. I've been trying to relax this entire weekend. I've been having to work and come to voice my concern based off of what I've been watching out there, this wacky world. But yeah, that's what's going on right now. And I full-heartedly agree that the justices that partook in this overturning of Roe v. Wade and all the other stuff, they should be removed. They should be impeached. They should be impeached and removed and maybe even arrested. That'd be so cool. Mary Miller's a racist. That's true. And SAPD, along with a lot of police here in Texas that are practicing to be more living weapons, are doing it wrong through this threat assessment review and policy. They're just going to be doing more harm than good. Watch. They're just going to be doing, and I'll talk about it. You know, it's going to come up on this show. So, oops. Well, a trucker's pulled up to pull into the store that I'm parked behind in, so that's my cue to take off. Sorry, sir. Y'all have a good one. Stay safe out there. This is Chris with Chris's Comments signing out.